In a big blow to the protesting students of the Film and Television Institute of India, the Supreme Court today has refused to intervene in the standoff between them and the centre over the appointment of Gajendra Chauhan as the chairman of the institute. The PIL filed in the apex court said the standoff was causing a loss of rupees 10 lakhs per day. The PIL also wanted security for students who wanted to attend classes. Meanwhile, FTII students have upped the ante by threatening to go on an indefinite hunger strike if their demands are not met. The students have alleged the government has cut all lines of communication and are not willing to talk to them to resolve the issue. Let's then get two sides of that story. Joining me now, national spokesperson of the BJP, GVL Narasimha Rao, is with us, and Yash Mishra, FTII student, who is one of those leading this agitation. Before I come to GVL, Yash Mishra, you first. The Supreme Court seems to have made it very clear, Yash, that it's becoming increasingly clear in your case that the Supreme Court is not willing to intervene. The Supreme Court has refused to intervene in this matter. Isn't that a big setback to you?
Rajdeep, there's a huge misconception. There's a huge misconception about the PIL getting dismissed at the Supreme Court today. The person who filed it has got nothing to do with FTII. He never got in touch with us for facts. And What we know is that the petition was based on media reports, and some of these reports had incorrect facts in them. So the way it should be seen is that Supreme Court has rejected this particular of the way it has been framed.
No, hold on. The fact at the end of the day is that you all were hoping that the court might intervene. Now, it may have come as a PIL through a third party, but GVL Narasimha Rao, am I to understand that therefore the government believes it will stick to Gajendra Chauhan now? There is no question of any compromise on that critical issue which the students are demanding, that there must be a rethink on that. Am I to understand from the government perspective, no rethink?
I don't think there is any reason for a rethink on this issue, because when has this country begun to choose governors, choose directors of institutions based on students' personal interest or students' personal preference? I think this is not how institute directors or chairmen are selected in any other institute.
But what about a dialogue?
The so-called
what about a dialogue?
Stalwart.
Mr. Narasimha Rao, don't you think at least there should be a dialogue with the students? Are you saying the students have no right to have a dialogue with you at all?
I think there has been a dialogue all along with back channel though, with the present president, Mr. Nachi Muthu, and also with the past president of this institute, Mr. Vikas, immediate past president. I think students have been misleading, have been giving all wrong information by simply claiming that no discussions had taken place. There have been discussions all along through these the present president of the institute and also the past president. And also let me add, a particular some kind of an understanding or agreement was arrived at as early as July 25th, and the students went back on this agreement and have I think after confabulations with possibly with some friends, they decided to continue the stir. I think it's a highly irresponsible act on their part, and also it's important for the viewers to know most of the students, the number of students who are striking are students of 2008 batch.
No,
what
my point, Mr. Rao,
to do for 8 years?
Mr. Rao, this strike now has gone on for almost 3 months. Let's be very clear. It took virtually a similar length of time in the case of ex-servicemen for the government finally to respond. What am I to understand? That when it comes to ex-servicemen, because there are Bihar elections, hold on. Because there are Bihar elections about to be announced and the government realized that servicemen are an important vote bank and it could recoil on the government, therefore you went ahead with OROP. Am I to understand that the students of FTI do not matter because they are not a vote bank? So therefore you can dismiss their complaints against Gajendra Chauhan?
Not the least. I think this comparison is quite invalid. Because honestly, I don't think this is a factor in Bihar elections at all. But you can differ with me on that. But as far as the students are concerned, the root problem of this entire thing is you have a student body, a large number of students who have been rather irresponsible and have been living off the public exchequer, staying on in the institute for 7 long years for a 3-year course, refusing to cooperate with the institute authorities, with the governing council, which wanted them to in 2013 and 2014. There have been repeated decisions by the governing council to ensure that they are assessed and they leave the institute. They are simply staying on, simply living off. I think they should be living for the public good. They are living off public money. 12 lakh rupees, please understand. 12 lakhs is spent on each student every year. Whereas in All India Institute of Medical Sciences and IITs, the expenditure per student is only 3 lakhs.
Yes, Mishra, let Yash respond. GVL, let Yash respond. Are the students being irresponsible? You're now threatening to go on hunger strike. The government is saying, how do we negotiate with those who are irresponsible?
Rajdeep, the series of misleading information this government has provided over a period of time, it's just a repeat of all the drama. I wouldn't want to respond to it. On a day when we've chosen to go on hunger strike, there's an insensitive person sitting on the other side who's not even willing to recognize that we need to have a face-to-face dialogue. Why are we talking about back-channel dialogue? With the ex-servicemen also, they want to have a back-channel dialogue. With us also, a back-channel dialogue. What is this back-channel all about? All the information said by the gentleman is incorrect. The entire student community is on strike at FTII, point 1. Point 2, the Supreme Court verdict has got nothing to do with our strike or agitation because it was not filed by any of the members of FTII community, be ex-students or current students. We believe we have a strong case because it was a weak petition, so it got rejected. Now, all along, the government has been spreading misleading information like 2008 batch students are running this strike. It's absolutely and highly incorrect. Another point is that students never claimed that it is our prerogative to appoint the chairman. It is your prerogative, but there's no process that you followed. Please have a process. There are RTI reports where on level 1 screening, Gajendra Chauhan's name doesn't appear. Level 2 screening, his name doesn't appear. Level 3, suddenly it appears. And same with the society members. So RTI first list, society members.
Can I ask you, why are you going on a hunger strike? What is the purpose? Are you getting some inspiration from the ex-servicemen because their demands have been met? You now believe that hunger strike is the way to get your demands met?
That's, I think, demeaning a very respectable action. We need to understand that in 88 days, we have just had one official long dialogue on 3rd of July. Like the gentleman said, there were back-channel negotiations. What are these back-channel negotiations? How do we believe a government which doesn't have the wisdom to place the right people in an institution like FTII? Now understand this. They send a committee to FTII. The committee comes out and to the media they tell, I need to complete. Let me complete my point, Rajdeep, please. So they send a committee to FTII after such a long time. The committee, we share everything in all honesty. The committee comes out and tells the media the students are very good and no cops required on the campus. We will submit the report by Monday. 1 Monday gone, 2nd Monday gone, 3rd Monday gone, 15 days and the report is still not out. This government is insensitive and they believe in back-channel negotiations and are not willing to face the students because they cannot face us because they know they have not followed any process because there is no process that exists and we continuously demand a process. They have pushed us to take the extreme step of going on indefinite hunger strike and believe me, we shall continue until they understand that theirs is not the only way to think. India is a plural country and they need to engage in a dialogue and understand our views.
You know, therefore you are saying, and that's the flag, you are saying that you will now go on hunger strike. Students have decided to go on hunger strike. GVL Narasimha Rao, you know, the students are angry. Let's be clear. You could well claim that the students have been irresponsible, but they are also at the end of the day people who want to be heard. Why not give them a fair hearing, GVL Narasimha Rao? Why in the past dub them as Naxalites, anti-national, left sympathizers? Why not have a dialogue and settle this?
No, Rajdeep, I think the real problem is they seem to have serious misgivings about the stature. And what has happened to this for 3-4 long decades, people of great eminence have headed this institute. What a sorry pass this has come to. This institution is in shambles. The entire working of this institution is amiss.
Is Gajendra Chauhan the man to
the entire batch of 2008 students?
Is Gajendra Chauhan the man to revive this institution?
Students, how can they? No, 1 second. Possibly yes, because he has got a lot of time on his hands and a lot of people of great stature that you talk about have simply not been able to function. And even Mahesh Bhatt had to leave in disgust This institute has not had a convocation for 17 long years, and in the last convocation when Dilip Kumar went, he was hooted out. I think it's a body of, students who simply have developed a quality of somehow living on this campus and somehow brushing aside all reservations, and they want a director or possibly a chairman whom they can possibly influence.
Let's
and
leave
they
it
are
at
not
that.
prepared to leave the institute after staying on for 7
Clearly, you are
long
only
years.
hardening your stand after the Supreme Court verdict. On the other hand, the students also are clearly hardening their stand from the fact that, as Yash has told us, they now intend to go on a hunger strike against the manner in which this entire episode has played out. Appreciate both of you joining us. It's extremely a sad situation which the FTII finds itself in today.